Thank you for joining us. This is Live with Miami's Community News, and I'm Michael Muller. Special guest today is Frank Calderon from Miami-Dade Solid Waste. Thanks for being here, Frank.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
So as we drive around town, we see these piles of stuff, just people that you can see they dumped it, all right? We're not talking about litter like a bottle or a bag. We're talking about real trash like trunkfuls or truckfuls. What is the county doing to try to counteract that?
We have in our department, the solid waste department, we have a code enforcement division, and their job is a large part of it is dedicated to that situation. They have different enforcement officers have different zones to cover, and if they see anything that looks like illegal dumping, they will investigate and try to find out the cause of it, and hopefully go after the people that did it.
Lots of times when people dump their stuff, they're unaware sometimes there's like some identifying marks in that trash.
Yes.
So you guys go through it and say, we're going to get this guy.
Yes, that's one way. That's just one way that they find people going through the stuff and looking.
So
for
what's
evidence.
another way? This is
Another way.
Coming up.
Cameras, hidden cameras.
And in today's environment, it's hard to imagine people would do stuff
There's cameras everywhere.
without thinking that somebody's going to get a picture of them.
Yep.
I don't know what percentage of the population has a camera called a phone, all right?
Mhm.
And then plus the cameras that you have.
Cameras everywhere. People have.
And you have cameras that are camouflaged, sort of hidden, and
We have some that
They're
are.
hidden.
Yeah, we have. Well, they're hidden. We have some that are permanent in certain locations that are well known for illegal dumping, and we have, and they live stream, and we have people monitoring them in real time. And then we have cameras that record after the fact, we take a look at the video and we find pieces of information that lead us to the people who did the illegal dumping.
so they may get away at that moment that they dump it.
They may, but
A couple
eventually they're
days,
gonna
a
get
week
caught.
later, you go, hey, Buster, we got your
yeah.
car here. This is your tag number.
yeah.
That sure looks like you in the picture.
Yeah.
And when you think about the cost to all of us of having now have to have an inspector go out and do it, have another truck come out and do it, probably two people, then take it to probably the same place that they were gonna take it. It gets pretty pricey.
Not to mention the intangible costs of just having to see it there and people's property values going down and just a lot of unpleasantness.
And there's no question when the trash is there on the street, you just get bummed out. All right.
Yeah.
And conversely, when it's not there, you don't say, "Gee, there's no trash there." That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so I love the story about those two brothers, the twins and the friend.
The twins
tell us
and
about
the
that.
third brother, actually.
Oh.
And they just, the third brother just left the twins hanging. Yeah, that happened a little while back, but yeah, we caught them on camera. We saw that there were two vehicles. We caught one of the vehicles. I believe it was a commercial vehicle. So they got basically, commercial is not the max, but the higher range of citations or fines, and they were arrested.
So these guys, they left the site. They're driving down the street. A policeman says, "Oh, that's it." They pulled them over.
And yeah, and that was, by the way, that was one of our live stream situations. The enforcement officer saw them and dispatched an enforcement officer in the area to the location, and they caught the guys a couple blocks away.
Pulled them over, arrested them,
Yes.
had their vehicle towed, which cost a fortune. And when they went to the pokey, somebody must have said, "So what are you in here for?"
That, I don't know. Some people may say that's the worst part of it. You go to jail, and what are you here for? I killed somebody for looking at me funny. Why? What are you here for? I put a couch on the side of the road.
So let's talk about the financial penalty. If you're a homeowner and your trunk is full of stuff and you dump it on the side of the road and there's some cops staring at you, right? So what is the minimum financial penalty?
Minimum financial penalty now is a total of $260. It's a fine about $250 and a $10 fee.
And if it's a commercial vehicle doing the same thing, what's it?
I believe the commercial vehicles start at $1,000.
Now,
and it can go up to $2,500.
6 months ago, the county released some figures that they had $450,000. They either of equipment or money that they got from people that were doing illegal dumping. And if you get your commercial vehicle impounded, your business is in big trouble, right? and it may cost a lot of money to get that thing out. I don't know what it costs for towing trucks, but
No,
got to
well,
be a lot.
this type of impoundment, I think just a tow, like if you call it tow truck, it is about $150 if they tow within a few miles
Yeah.
of your location. But that's you calling them. That's not you're towed because you did something wrong. That's I don't know if it's probably I would imagine it's probably more.
So explain to our viewers if they go to the TRC's trash recycling center and they see these commercial vehicles in their lawn trucks with the palm fronds, how do they get to go to that?
Yes, they are the only exceptions for commercial vehicles that are TRCs, landscapers, but they have to pre-register with us and they have to buy coupons that they use for each visit. They have to give up a coupon. That allows them. What that does basically is they've just finished a whole bunch of lawns and they might have a bunch of landscaping material in the back of their little trailer. If they have to go to landfill to drop off, and that may be many miles away, whereas the TRC may be close by, and allows them to dump their the landscaping material, the lawn clippings, whatever, and then go back into the neighborhood and continue working their customers.
Explain to folks the difference what littering is as compared to dumping.
Mostly the amount. Littering would be something basically you'd hold in your hand, like a cigarette butt, a gum wrapper, a candy wrapper, a soda you're drinking. That's littering, basically something you just toss from your hand onto the street. Whereas illegal dumping, now you're talking about taking some kind of a truck or vehicle and, something like a TV set, a couch, a bunch of junk that you might have in your yard or something, like taking that and throwing it out of your dumping it somewhere.
I might have mentioned this before. I was probably 10, 11, 12 years old. I'm in the car. My mother's driving. I'm behind her. Toss something out to her. We got pulled over.
Wow.
And the cop says, you threw something out. No, not me. Yes, you did. He must have been like right behind. And here it is, more than 60 years later. I'm still listening. I'm still hearing it. Like, just don't do that. So that's the penalty. But we hope what we've learned through all of this for all of us, don't litter, don't throw it out. All right, put it in a bag, one of those plastic bags that you can't stand. All right, put it in there, and then put it into your green dumpster, not the blue one, the green one.
The green, yeah, because
and people are still asking, well, why can't we recycle those plastic bags? It's made out of plastic. So tell us.
Well, the answer to recycling plastic bags is yes and no. The problem,
and Rachel, that's why we're so confused, and we just don't know quite what to do.
And I apologize for that. They can be recycled, just not in our program. And the reason why is because our program, basically, various materials are brought to us, and they're separated out by a series of conveyor belts. The conveyor belts, if you take plastic bags and put them on the conveyor belts, they just get wrapped up around the machinery and just jam up the machinery. So there are places, though, that you can take the plastic bags, pretty much grocery stores, and some retail stores. Don't assume, though. Check first, is what I tell people to do. Don't go to the store with a bunch of plastic bags and then find out that they don't take them. Go first. The next time you go grocery shopping, for example, they might have a bin outside where they take plastic bags. It's a different process because it's filmy plastic and it's very lightweight, but it's also strong and can get wrapped up around stuff. So they process it differently. And some of these places will take any kind of plastic bag, even if it's not theirs. They'll take dry cleaner plastic bags. They'll take, things like that. But just check first. It's just, we can't take it in our program because of the way it works.
And lots of people don't understand why the food dishes that we get either from TV dinners or from Uber are not recyclable, and they're not.
Not in our program. There may be places, and that's a little bit trickier. I know the plastic bags, some places will take them. I don't know about the trays and things like what you're talking about. We don't take it in our program, though, because they have to blend certain materials in there with the plastic to create those shapes, and it doesn't work in our program.
For those people wondering, bottles and cans are perfect.
Yes.
Here's another great one. And pizza boxes, except for...
Well, as long as the pizza box is, as we say, lightly soiled. If it's too greasy, too much cheese stuck to it or something like that, then we can't take it.
So, but in other venues outside of Miami-Dade County, the vendors could be completely different, and maybe they handle those things.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, I would see signs out, no dumping here. What causes those signs to go up in that particular area?
A lot of times we tend to put those up where we know what we call a hot spot, where we know that the illegal dumping takes place. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't always respect those signs, but we will also monitor and try to catch those people who don't do that. Sometimes residents they'll request it in some cases, especially if there's a case to be made, like if they've been illegal dumping a few times in that location, then we'll put a sign up.
In residential areas, it's sort of tough to say, "Gee, I want a no dumping sign in my swale, my the house on 118th Avenue between Miller and Bird." I guess the county commissioner asked those signs to be put up, which are no parking here, and then all of a sudden, no litter, no dumping, which is very effective because when you see those signs in a row, you go, I think they're serious about this. Last week we spoke about the hurricane season, and over the weekend we had like a preview of what might happen. There's some pretty big winds. All right, some huge trees got knocked over. It was hailing in some areas. Winds probably at some point 20 to 40 miles an hour. What a great opportunity for us to be aware of the stuff that's in our yard and our neighbor's yard. All right, tell us about what's called the bulky waste pickup.
Yes, so we offer our customers 2 bulky waste pickups a year where you can put like bulky items, old furniture, so the kind of things you could take to the TRCs, but larger amounts than you could fit in one pickup truckload. Old furniture, lawn clippings is a big one, and not just lawn clippings, but like maybe tree branches and things like that. So if you know that you have a tree that's overhanging, like the one that we saw that was made national news, by the way, even
that stuff
then
looked like it was about 8 feet high.
Yeah, and you can the limbs are threatening to fall on something, and that now's the time to take it down and maybe call a bulky waste pickup before the season starts and before things start to get active, because now we have appointment dates available.
Yep. So people can go to the website, which is what?
Miami-Dade.gov/solid waste.
And if you get really lazy, you can call 311 and they'll do it for you.
Yeah.
And typically you need to call ahead of time before you put that stuff out on the swale.
Yes, very important. You could get hit with illegal dumping.
Yep.
So you do have to call or go online before you place the items out.
And just for clarity, if you see a big pile outside somebody's house, you cannot go, all right, and dump your stuff in it.
No.
All right.
No.
Because that's
illegal dumping.
Yes. And for people, and we understand that they put piles out, it attracts more piles, and it's a wonderful time.
Oftentimes it does, yeah. That's part of the reason why we switched to the system we have now. In the old days, you could put it out there, and it could be out there for up to 10 days before it got picked up. Now we tell you to put it out there 3 days before your appointment day.
And you'll save on your grass, too.
You'll save on your grass, too, and it won't be out there that long, and it won't be out there to tempt illegal dumpers.
So I was in my kitchen cabinet underneath there looking at all the stuff that there's only about this much left in the whole thing. And you go, most of them are like that. What do we do with that stuff?
Perfect candidate for a home chemical collection program, which we have 2 permanent centers. But now, a couple of years ago, we started doing mobile events at different TRCs where we spend one Saturday every few months at different locations. And those might be more convenient for in my case, for sure the 3B, the Sunset Kendall TRC, super convenient for me.
So I don't know if I'm using the term right. If you follow Miami-Dade Solid Waste, you'll get a notification that the ad will pop up there, right? I think that's what I saw. I think it was really great. I think it showed some people bringing in the chemicals. So that could include gasoline, oil. Do you take the container, right?
Yes.
Right, so that red container that's got like a quart of gas in it. Right?
Yeah, you can take
it over there. Oil, and then insecticides,
pesticides, things like that. Yeah, stuff underneath your kitchen cabinet, stuff from the garage, cleaning solvents, things like that you don't use anymore that are old.
Maybe have the little rural area. What I do with my old lawn equipment, I put it out front free. Maybe I'm going to take it away. One day over the weekend, nobody took it. I said they must know something that we don't. But for old lawn equipment, what should they do with that?
They can bring it to the TRCs. The only thing we ask is make sure it doesn't have any fluids in it, like old gasoline or oil or anything like that.
When you drive up to the TRC, sometimes there's a nice line there. And since the invention of the phone, it doesn't bother people as much. But what sort of ID does somebody need to be able to leave their garbage there?
A Florida state ID, a driver's license or ID card.
And what goes there, it's not food product.
No.
What? Tell us the type of products.
Same kind of things you can put in a bulky pickup: landscaping or lawn clippings, tree branches, old furniture, old appliances, um, those sort of things, pretty much.
And if somebody wants to put in there, speaking of appliances, the bulky waste pickup, if they have washing machines, dryers, freezers, refrigerators, tell us again what they should do with the doors.
Oh yes, especially in the case of freezers and refrigerators, the door should be removed ideally because, yeah, I grew up in an era where you heard like almost every week a child would get locked in, and those things are airtight, and tragedy would ensue. Kids playing hide and go seek, whatever. That's a perfect spot. If you're a kid, that's a perfect spot to hide. Problem is if nobody knows you're there.
Yeah.
So that's why we tell you remove the doors. We don't want any tragedies happening.
So, and for the most part, tell everybody the trash that is put into the green dumpsters, for the most part, that's twice a week it gets picked up.
Yes.
Everybody's got a little different area. I mean, different days they pick up.
Yeah.
And for the faint at heart, how many pickups do you do a week in the department?
If you do the math, it's we have about 350,000 customers. They're picked up twice a week, so it ends up being about 700,000 pickups a week.
In the 4 weeks, so it's 2,800,000 pickups.
Well, if you multiply by 4 weeks by a month, basically 2.8 million, which by the way coincides with about the number of people there are in Miami-Dade County.
How does that happen? Right?
I don't know.
And then the blue dumpsters are handled by a vendor of the counties, and they pick up twice a month.
They pick up once every 2 weeks. Yes.
And in that recycling thing, let's talk about plastic bottles. Single water use can go in there without any problem. All right. The Gatorade type of products can go in there.
Anything we say basically narrow neck. So it could be a plastic bottle or a jug. It could be a milk jug. It can be a soda bottle or a water bottle or Gatorade bottle. It can be sports things, any sports drink. It can also be laundry detergent. It can also be dishwashing detergent. It can be shampoo, things like that.
And an amazing thing, tell folks when we turn in a can of soda, how long is it on average before it gets recycled into some other product?
In theory, an aluminum can be recycled in as little as 6 weeks. It can be back on the shelf. You could theoretically, mind you,
reincarnated for the fourth time.
You could theoretically be drinking from the same can you were drinking before.
That's amazing.
From 6 weeks before.
So are you familiar with any of the new things that may be coming up in the recycling world?
I don't know of anything that I've heard of that I hadn't already heard of for a while. I did, out of curiosity, recently looked at recycling. We were talking about recycling plastic bags earlier. There's a company that's there, and they're still around because I saw a video that was 12 years old. And I said, I wonder if they're still around. I went, they're still around. They'll take plastic bags, and they actually make like plastic lumber where they make park benches and stuff.
Yep.
They make that out of old plastic bags.
And they don't rot.
And they don't rot. Those things are I want to say it was like 95% plastic bags and 5% sawdust. I think the sawdust kind of like binds everything.
I've seen that stuff. A friend of mine has a great patio made out of it, and it comes in a
decking. I think also
zillion different colors, very, very attractive, and it's sort of like a neat when you look at it. It's a little bit different, all right. And some of the hotels use that to dress it up. So again, here we are, hurricane season coming up. And somewhere between a month and 3 months, we're going to know that it's hurricane season. So people should go in the yard, look and see what it is.
We knew it yesterday.
Yeah. And I tell our landscaping guys now, you got to take it with you. Just take it with you. Because one place or another, all right, it's going to be sitting out front. I've used, though, in the past, the bulky waste pickup several times. Really easy to go online in Miami-Dade.gov /solid waste. It shows a house. That's where you're going to put it. All right. The days that are open, you can go and you can book it yourself, and it's really very nifty. Any suggestions that, for either for bulky waste or for the recycling or for the green cans? Any suggestions?
For bulky waste, just a reminder, you can put the stuff out 3 days in advance. Hurricane season is coming in less than a month now. The time to do that sort of thing, anything you need to remove around the yard, is now before things get busy. As far as recycling, just follow the simple recyclable materials that you can put in. Don't put anything that you can. If you're not sure, we say when in doubt, leave it out.
Perfect. And I know the county is going to have some answers for us about how we're going to improve using our stuff less, creating less stuff.
Waste in the first place, yeah.
I was so moved by our conversations over the last couple of years. My wife and I went out and bought a little composter for the house. It's about 4 feet high, 3.5, 4 feet high. You put your vegetables and even chicken bones in it. It dehydrates it. It's never smelled. It starts to dehydrate. All of a sudden, it looks like mulch. All right, and then it notifies you. It's time to do it. It allows 10 pounds of stuff in there. Anything more than that, they stop. We take it. We put it in the bushes out front. I think there's a difference. I'm not sold yet, but you feel good doing it. All right. Frank Calderon, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
And Rochelle, thank you very much for producing the show. Folks, thank you for joining us. Remember, take